Hi everyone, I'm Daniel. The topic of climate change has been up for a long time, and many researchers and scientists have been working for years trying to find a solution that generates energy in an alternative way that is more friendly to the environment. Why do we even want to care about climate change? That's probably a question that many of you would ask. Despite the fact that our life has not changed dramatically because of climate change, weather and climate are behaving abnormally for this past decade. For millennia, the level of carbon dioxide has never exceeded the line on the graph, and the current warming is about 10 times faster than it was during the Ice Age warming. The effects of the increasing temperature includes global temperature increase, warming oceans, shrinking of the ice sheets, sea level rises, and many other extreme events. Therefore, reducing the emissions of greenhouse gas is definitely a big part of reversing climate change. Out of the numerous solutions to solve climate change, the topic on nuclear energy is always on the top of discussion. The word nuclear is most commonly introduced into our day in the term nuclear energy. Nuclear energy is a way of producing energy through the process of nuclear fission with the element uranium. As the heat is being released through the process of fission, the water will be boiled so that the steam would spin the turbine generating electricity. Nuclear energy does not emit any greenhouse gas, and it helps countries to cut down the emission of carbon. Also, nuclear energy are also able to work in a long run, that they only have to be refueled for every 1.5 to 2 years and can run all day long under careful expectations. So, if nuclear energy is so much better than fossil fuels, why do we even bother to use fossil fuels? At the end of the day, nuclear energy still raises a lot of concerns, including cost, safety, and public awareness. Let's just first focus on the cost of building a nuclear power plant. Nuclear power plants cost billions of dollars to be built, which makes them the most expensive one to build out of all other kinds of energy sources. In addition, these power plants are expected to be even being built at a greater price in the future. As for safety, many people are generally concerned with nuclear energy because of its devastating effects that it could bring to people if they are not being managed properly. Throughout the short time period of the history of nuclear energy, there have already been a few devastating crises that were caused by nuclear energy power plants. One of the worst nuclear disasters in the human history will be the Chernobyl disaster. The Chernobyl disaster that happened in 1986 was caused by the incorrect design of the reactor and the lack of safety regulations that were being applied. The accident was recorded as the largest release of radioactive materials into the environment in the entire history, and the impact of environment and the people living near the reactor is long-lasting for decades. These terrifying stories of nuclear disasters are making people losing trust in using nuclear energy. By looking through the past data, the global electricity production by source for nuclear energy is only about 10%, which is still very little compared to the fossil fuels we burn for energy. Moreover, the electricity production of nuclear energy in the last 20 years has basically remained the same. These numbers demonstrate how nuclear energy was not being taken into consideration as the main energy source in the past few decades. In the end, nuclear energy is definitely a great source of energy to be implemented, but the concerns and risks in having nuclear energy still exist. Eventually, reversing climate change with the method of nuclear energy is just only one way to cope with this situation. At the end of the day, whether nuclear energy become the dominant energy source for the entire world or not, the entire human being will eventually face the severe consequences of climate change, and it is crucial for everyone, including you, to take part in stopping climate change and saving our planet.